How hard is this prep compared to your first one, both physically and mentally? This is a really good question. When I have my supplement list from my coach, it's literally like this long. I wish I could say yes, but the answer is nah. What happened with you, Gabby, and Kendall, the trio? Now it's just you and Ken.
It's game time and I'm up one. Name something I ain't done. Name a body that's my type. Air Jordan, I'll take flight. I'm next level, I'm rich.
To our winner, Julia, Rene.
Hello, my loves. Welcome back to the video. Today is gonna be a chill one because we're gonna sit down and I'm gonna answer your most asked questions. I haven't done one of these in a really long time. I've just been like so focused on prep and everything that I put a question box up on my Instagram the other day and there's a ton of questions and I was like, okay, like let's do one of these videos. So we're gonna go over everything, bodybuilding, supplements, drama, what else? Who knows? I don't know. Okay, first question. What do you think about the direction the wellness division is heading, comma, girls getting bigger, etc.? This is a really good question because when the wellness division first came out, the intention behind the look was supposed to be not as shredded as figure, but not as small in size as bikini. And as it has progressed since it came out in 2020, I think that was the first Olympia, potentially. I think it came out in like 2020 or it was announced for the United States because it's originally from Brazil and they brought it over to the United States. So a lot of girls were super excited about this because having a physique that's a bikini physique or a figure physique, there's a big jump between that. So wellness was perfect for those girls that maybe didn't want to spend so many years building their upper body or were a little bit more muscular developed than the bikini category. So there's a perfect in between. So when it first came out, there wasn't supposed to be any graininess, there wasn't supposed to be any striations, any of that. But now we're kind of seeing that a lot on stage, which is going into the leanness of the figure category, which I don't think was the intention of it to begin with. But what I have noticed is that seems like, from my point of view, that they aren't awarding winners anymore who are that level of leanness. So it's like a balance of being lean but not having too much striations or too much graininess. We'll pop up photos on screen of what that looks like. So I feel like when it first came out, nobody really knew what to look for. So there was this kind of like climax that happened, which happens with bodybuilding divisions, I feel like, where nobody really knew what was going on, and then people took it to like the extreme level to where it was like figure shredded leanness and the size was big. You saw a lot of figure competitors actually dropping down into the wellness category since they had the muscular development. And for a while it seemed like, oh my God, like this is where it's going to be. I don't think this is where we intended the division to be. And now I feel like they're actually kind of going back to their roots to where they still want to see you really, really shredded, but not to the level that it used to be when it first came out. So I feel like now they're starting to award people according to that guideline. Okay, so I'm on the NPC website right now, and I'm just gonna read to you what they're saying about the wellness division, because if you go to the NPC website, you can look up all of the rules and regulations per division and what they look for and the poses and stuff like that. So it says this division is for females with athletic physiques that showcase more body mass in the hips, glutes, and thigh area. The upper body is developed, but not to the same degree as the lower body. So we're looking for that imbalanced physique. It really doesn't say, let's see if it says anything about how shredded they, level of conditioning. We're looking for the conditioning almost on par with bikini athletes, but the athletes will have slightly more muscle. We want to see a little body fat with slight separation, but no striations. Abs defined like bikini, shoulders are more developed than bikini, The quad should display athletic appearance with slight separation, but no striation. So this is what I was, same thing with the glutes, full round glutes and slight separation between the hamstring and glute area. So slight separation is different than like chiseled AF. Like I'll pop up some photos of it. So it doesn't seem like they're really, the judging is subjective. Like this sport is subjective. So when you see people of different physiques like winning at different shows, of course, because we're humans and there's different judges at each show, and some judges like a physique more, others like another physique more, and that's just it. Just like we have preference on what like our partner's going to look like, or what we think is pretty, or what we think is aesthetic looking, so do judges. So I have a feeling though that it is moving hopefully a little bit to the less shredded side and more to where it was supposed to be, because of course it's really hard to get to that level of leanness. What's your supplement regimen before workout, after, daily, and nighttime? So I'll just, if I told you every single thing that I was taking supplementation wise, the list would be a million and bajillion years long. When I have my supplement list from my coach, it's literally like this long. It's crazy. But the main core things that always stay in no matter what, for morning, I take my greens, I take my reds, take my fiber and my glutamine. Greens and reds have 50 plus greens, grasses, fruits, vegetables, probiotic, blend and digestive enzymes so that you stay regular, you have good gut health, fiber, you have regular poops. Glutamine is good for muscle recovery. Always have that in the morning. I haven't taken it yet because I'm doing this video with you. And then during the day, the must-haves that I'm taking are like liver detox, fish oil, I take hair, skin, and nails, vitamin D, vitamin K, iron, and other things that I can't remember. Every single week I basically fill my little supplement thing and I just like take it throughout the day. So it's already ready to go, so I don't have to go in my cabinet and grab it. Okay, and then for my pre-workout, I do, depending on the level of energy that I have that day, I take First Form's Megawatt, which is 1 scoop of 150 milligrams of caffeine. Then I'll do, if it's like an upper body day, I'll do a pump product. I have an itch on my nose, oh my God. I do a pump product so that we can get more blood flow to the muscles, helps with mind to muscle connection, which is First Form's Alpha Surge. And then, what else? I put a little salt in there, and then we go to the gym. Oh, I also take EAAs with it. That helps with muscle protein synthesis, make sure that I stay regular energy-wise throughout my whole workout and don't just like hit a crash also. And then nighttime, taking Core 21 helps calm you down, get you ready for bed. And then Adrenal Restore to help restore my adrenals, because caffeine be frying them every single day, especially if you take a lot of caffeine, your adrenals get fried. So taking that before bed helps restore them, so when you wake up in the morning, you're feeling more refreshed and revived. How hard is this prep compared to your first one, both physically and mentally? Let's see. Okay, so my first show, I did my first 2 shows in 2020. I won first place at the Summer Shredding, then I won first place at the Adela, and then the next year is when I went for nationals to try and get my pro card. I would say those first 2 shows, I was able to get leaner a lot faster. And the reason being is because it was my first time dieting like that before. And the more times that you diet over and over and over, the harder that it gets for you to get that level of leanness that you first did when you first tried. So those 2, I would say, it was still really difficult because I was still having to do a lot of cardio. My diet was very limited calories, so it was still hard, but it was easier for me to get lean those first 2 shows. I think the hardest prep that I ever had was the prep going and getting my pro card, because there was a point where I got 5th at nationals and then got my pro card at the next nationals and got 1st. Those 2 weeks in between getting 5th place and then getting my pro card were the hardest 2 weeks of prep that I've ever had. I was doing 2 hours of cardio a day. I was in training and having limited amount of calories because we had to push it so hard in order to try and get my pro card. And look, we ended up getting it, but Do I wish that we had to push that hard? No, and that's why this sport isn't sustainable and it's not for everybody. So that was the hardest one yet. I would say this one has been the most like difficult getting. It's been the most we need a sip of coffee for this.
Physically, this has been the most difficult. Mentally, you've been in a good place.
Yes, Ian is correct. Even though it has been like up and down trying to like get my weight down this prep, I mentally, the way that I have been dealing with it is way better than all of my past preps when things have gone wrong. I have the type of personality that I want to control every aspect of my life. And the truth is that if you think that you can do that, we're dumb, because things happen. You've seen throughout this prep that things happen. Life changes, people switch in and out of your life, like, and you still have to focus on doing your bodybuilding prep. So mentally, I've been great at handling all the things that have happened, and that's why I do this. So that every time that I prep, I learn something new about myself and an area in which I need to be better at. And this prep I have learned, I'm doing my Italian, I'm so Italian, I'm like, this prep I've learned. This prep I have learned that the area in my life that I need to do a lot of personal development in is releasing control on how things happen and when they happen. So that has been my learning curve this year. Next question, how do you find your first show to compete in? So you can go to the website that I just told you, NPC News Online, and go to the contests and then go to the schedule. But also, if you don't want to jump in immediately to the NPC, I highly recommend starting by doing summer shredding that Christian Guzman does. Now he does so many other shows now too, and he's like making them. I know that now he has them here in Houston. He has them in Houston. He has them in Canada. I have a feeling he's going to do another one somewhere else too. But if you're just starting in the fitness industry and it's a little bit intimidating, or the bodybuilding industry and it's a little bit intimidating, go and do that show. That was the first show that I did, and it literally skyrocketed my career because I was able to win. I got sponsored by Alphalete. I was able to meet so many incredible people there. I literally met Kayla there, which we've done a video together on here, and years later we're still friends. I've made so many connections, and it ended up getting me into the NPC, then going into the IFBB. So I recommend that to all of my clients. There's one that's like in October, and I have like between 4 and 6 posing clients that are competing in that show, and they added a wellness division. Okay, real quick for this question, trigger warning for eating disorders, so just in case, skip forward a little bit to this time code. When is the right decision to pull out of a show due to binging and purging? It's up to how you feel about it. It really is up to you. I have definitely struggled with that off season when I first started bodybuilding, but there's no way that I can tell you what you should and should not do for your body. If in your soul you feel like this is not right for me right now, it doesn't mean that you're saying no forever. It just means that you're saying no for now, and that is okay. You just have to be okay with maybe competing at a later date and getting time to heal, figure out where did this come from, how can I get better, maybe seek help. I definitely recommend seeking help if you can. So this is just all up to you. I know that it's difficult when you put so much of your time and your energy and focus and hours on something, and then you realize like, oh, but it's also taking this out of me as well. It's never going to be worth your health, your mental health, relationships. And if those things start to fall apart while you're on prep, sometimes they do because of our own energy levels. We only have so much energy to put towards certain things, but it's never worth losing your mental health, your physical health, getting an eating disorder, any of those things. So just really sit with yourself and think about long-term what is good for you. And trust me, I know what it feels like to be in your position where you feel like you can't pull out, that if you do, that everyone's gonna say that you're a quitter, but you're not. You're doing what's best for you in that moment. And to me, that is what strength is. Okay, you never talk about what you listen to when you're trying to get through cardio. What is it? So I actually have a playlist on YouTube. I don't know if it's public or private, but I'll make it public after I make this video, but I just call it my Olympia motivation. And it's like videos from Christian Guzman when he was doing his prep, I think last year. There's videos of CBum. There's like a documentary that someone made about CBum. There's like pumping iron on there. There's so many different things. There's like wellness posing from the Olympia stage. And I've like definitely curated it to be towards things that I like, but if you wanna go look at it, go and look at it. And I watch that when I'm in those like last minutes and I'm feeling like I wanna give up. And I'm telling you, if I just watch it, I end up like running faster. I'm like, because it feels like you're running to that goal, the thing that you see on stage. And having visuals to see while you're doing that thing that is so difficult that is gonna get you to where you need to be, it has been a game changer. Has this prep been different for your weight loss since changing birth control? So I wish I could say yes, but the answer is nah, not really. So if you guys were watching my kind of off-season journey, you know that I went off hormonal birth control and went on non-hormonal birth control. So I was at a hormonal pill and moved to a non-hormonal IUD. So I thought that this switch was going to make it easier for me to lose weight this time around, but that wasn't the case. And I truly don't know why. That's something I should probably ask my coach. Yeah, I should probably ask my coach that, because a lot of us girls are put on birth control at such a young age when we are developing and our hormones are still like, ah! And then we're put on artificial hormones. And when we try to get off, our body is like, whoa, and trying to regulate back to a normal because it doesn't really know a normal because we messed with it so early. So it probably has something to do with me being on it for years and then getting off of it and then expecting a quick change in less than a year. So I don't know. I'm actually gonna ask my coach about that and see, but there hasn't been any changes in me in like my mood or anything. The switchover was so great and it was seamless. And yeah, that's about it. I wish I could say that it was easier for me to lose weight this time from that switch, but I am glad that I did it regardless because now I can let my hormones get back to a baseline. Extensions, give us all the info. I'm dying to get some. First of all, these extensions are amazing. They look gorgeous, yes, but they are a bitch. Like, I didn't realize how much hair it is on my head, and I should have waited a little bit more closer to my show. But I was just so excited that I wanted them now. I don't like washing them. It takes forever. So of course I only wash my hair once a week, but man, are they challenging. But would I take them out? No, because they're gorgeous and I love them. They're the brand Bellamy and they're the sewn in type. So there's like beads that go around your head and then little like wefts, and you stack the wefts on top of each other and they're literally like sewn in like that. And it helps with your hair not breaking as much. I've had tape-ins and the glue that sticks to your hair, it makes you lose a lot of hair. I was a hairstylist also, and I was certified in doing extensions, and I can tell you that tape-ins are really bad for your hair. And you can lose a lot of hair. Sew-ins is definitely a better option because all that happens is when you take them out and you move them up, you don't have to pick out hair from the glue and the tape. So if your hairstylist does that, definitely do it. Okay, last question. What happened with you, Gabby, and Kendall, the trio? Now it's just you and Ken. Show. As you guys know, me, Gabby, and Kendall were like inseparable for, I'd say at least a year. I think I've known Kendall for a couple of years, but we only became close like within the last like year and a half. And then I think I met Gabby through Kendall. I met Gabby through Kendall, and we were like inseparable for a year. We had so much fun together. We traveled a lot together. We did a lot of fitness stuff together. All of us like had the same interests and everything, and we just got along really, really well. Then Zach and I broke up after my pro show, and I moved into this place all by myself. And during that time, we were all hanging out so much together because I was obviously like devastated and hurt and all of that. And we got even closer during that time to where we all decided, let's do a podcast together. So if you guys have listened to my podcast, the Know Your Power podcast, if you were listening to the very beginning, at first it was me, Kendi, I do call her Kendi, me, Kendi, and Gabby doing it. That was the intention. It was supposed to be us three doing the pod together. And that lasted not very long. It was like 3 episodes. So the reason being is because I think after the first couple episodes, Gabby decided to move to Houston. And all 3 of us were living here in Austin together. So it made it just so easy for Kendall and Gabby to just drive to my house and come to the studio and film. Kendall still lives here. That's why Kendall and I still do the podcast together. Also, we're best friends, and it's so easy and fun. So she moved to Houston and promised that it wasn't going to let it affect the podcast. So we were like, yeah, girl, go for it. We were 100% on board for whatever she wanted to do. And she was having so much fun in Houston, and she seemed to really love living there. And it obviously didn't work. You know, driving from Houston to Austin like once a week to film a podcast is just a lot. And so we ended up deciding that it was best that she wasn't a part of the podcast anymore. And that was totally fine. We were like, girl, we understand, like, you live so far away. She also has a child, and being close to her was important to her. So yeah, at least after that, Kendall and I just did the podcast, me and her together, and it's been that way ever since. And then we tried to stay friends during that time, but we honestly just kind of grew apart because she was obviously in Houston and we were here in Austin. We went up a couple of times in Houston and hung out with her and our friend Erica, and it just wasn't the same. Things had just gotten weird. But it's really not my place to go into more detail about that kind of stuff because that's not my life. It's not my story. It's not my place to about. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But I don't think we haven't been friends with her probably ever since then. We stopped doing the podcast, us 3, such a long time ago, and really haven't been friends ever since. Still love her, still hope for nothing but the best for her. She seems to be doing incredibly well, and that's all I can hope for in somebody that I once was really good friends with. So that's about it. Well, that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you want me to do another one of these. I will see you in the next video, and I love you all so much, and you are more powerful than you think. Bye.